Dating casually for over a year made me more feminine. Here's what I mean. Hey girls, it's your girl Nay. If you are new here, welcome. If you are true here, welcome back. Grab a snack, have a seat. We've got some things to talk about. First, let me define what dating casually means. I do not mean hooking up with people. I mean dating with a lack of intent in the sense of I'm not necessarily looking for a long term partnership or relationship, but I am dating to have fun and explore. I'm dating more than one person and I am okay with them dating other people. I am not necessarily looking for a hookup. I'm not necessarily looking for smex or any kind of sexual relationship. But if something was to present itself and make me believe that I should give this a second look, I was willing to do that. This is not in any way, shape, or form telling you to date for the sake of becoming more feminine or getting a more feminine outlook or defining femininity. I'm just saying this was one of the inadvertent effects of me dating casually. Getting dressed up. Now, femininity is a feeling, it's a way of life, it's an approach, it's a mindset. I think a lot of aesthetic posts will tell you that femininity is about an aesthetic, but it's not. It's not about the colors that you wear, it's not about the dresses, it's not about the pantsuits. It's about your approach, it's about your vibe, it's about the energy that you push forward before it's anything else. I got to show up polish, I got to expand on my beauty, I got to do all these other things that honestly as a homebody I wouldn't do otherwise because I don't really go out like that. Getting to know multiple people gave me clarity on what I wanted and clarity on what I didn't want. And in order to get clarity, I had to learn to watch and observe. And that is a highly feminine trait. I absolutely value a partner that is skilled in leadership, knows how to start a conversation. He doesn't necessarily have to carry it by himself, but at least start the conversation and has genuine character. I realized I had to allow men to be actions based while I stayed in receptive mode. That is one of the highlights of being a feminine. You have to know how to stay in your receptive mode. You know how to receive energy and then transmute it. Whether you're transmuting it for the good of all or whether you're transmuting it for yourself, you still need to learn how to be receptive. That means I had to shut up. When I say shut up, I don't mean shut up and be docile and allow him to step all over you. I mean, sit back and let him show you that he's a leader and he's actions based by acting. Then I will only allow them to come to me. I would match with them and I will allow them to come to me. That was the first test, if you will. And then once we had conversations, he would have to remain consistent. Then after that, he would have to ask me out on a date. I wasn't asking him. And if you don't like it, that's too damn bad. It was not my job to plan the date. He needed to ask me about my interests, what I liked, and then he needed to ask me out. My job was to say yes and when I was available, and he plans, he books, he tells me where. If he couldn't do that, you're on the chopping block. I learned how to listen more and talk less. Specifically, I learned how to listen intently. It is not enough to hear words. You need to hear everything in between them. You need to stop and listen to what they're not saying plus what they are saying. Being a safe space to a degree definitely comes in handy. And I'm not saying to be his piece, quote unquote, but I'm saying if you show genuine interest, they usually will run off with that, especially men who have stories. And honestly, I didn't date men who were not successful and they had stories for days. So using a portion of his story to prompt him to tell you more about that normally would tell you everything you need to know in the sense of what kind of man he is. What he constantly talked about and or repeated, the stories that he repeated, whether or not he referred to women as women or lesser than, whether or not he referred to his past relationships as experiences or lessons, or I mean, obviously those are two within the same where they can go together. But I mean, like in the context of positive or negative, whether he unprovokingly talked about his children's mothers, if he had any, and etc., etc. The things that he talked about revealed his character. So I had to learn to shut up, quite literally, so that I can hear what he's saying and what he's not saying and put them together. Dating multiple people, matching with people, and unmatching with people, whether they unmatch with me or I unmatch with them, taught me confidence. Not just confidence, but also boundaries. You have to learn to cut people off and stop making up thoughts in your head about what you think this person is and what you think this experiences could be. When I got to know a guy on a higher caliber, every time it didn't go well, and a lot of times it was me cutting them off, but sometimes they decided I was exercising a little bit too much free will, if you will, and they would say, they're a dudes, cool. I always looked at it as if I could get this, I can get better. I never looked at it as a loss. It's always my win, baby. Learning how to cut people off quickly made me more an objective thinker and not so much subjective. And I know a lot of times we align objectivity with men and subjectivity with women, but I think it made me a more efficient dater, and it made me learn how to kind of reel in my feelings and just look at things from a standpoint where I wasn't over investing. I think a lot of us women undervalue being able to receive compliments. And when you're on these dating apps, especially if you're on multiple dating apps, you receive compliments even if they don't mean it. And you have to learn how to receive that kind of energy and learn to stay in that energy so you can continue to receive that energy and allow it to alchemize, transmute you into an even better version of you. Receiving a compliment should only come with you receiving a compliment, saying thank you. Learn how to flirt with a compliment. If a man says something about you that is a very detail oriented, I didn't know you noticed that. Thank you. Of course, you can give them back, sure. But your first job is to learn how to receive that. Stay in that receptive mode. Do not minimize yourself in fear that he's going to think that you're conceited. That's it for this video. If you enjoy it, please hit the subscribe button so you can see all of my new posts. Make sure you hit that bell so you can be notified. I love you for watching.